Okay, my name's Cat B, and I've been a comedian. I guess I think they would say all my life because I've just been just doing me. That falls in the category of comedy, then. Hey, but professionally on the circuit for over 20 odd years. I think, like many things, you do stuff if you can naturally do stuff, and then it falls into the category of oh, he's a comedian or he's a this. You just go, oh, okay. Um, Comedy for me, I started at Chat's Palace. That was my first ever like going on and just saying, "Right, I'm going to do jokes. I'm going to do stand up." Um, and for me, it was just like I was just being me. I was just talking and just having fun, and people were enjoying it. Um, I started off at Stratford East as the the young boy in the group. We didn't have anybody because everybody was in secondary school. I wasn't, so they could always use for character roles me as a character to do certain things, um, which for them was like, yep, that was quite comedic. They'll say that was funny. You did this and it was funny. And then from there, I went on to start teaching at Stratford East, and then I was doing variety nights there, and then also going up for roles in the shows at Stratford East. So it was something that I was always doing, and then going to other places and performing and taking comedy everywhere. So I've literally performed all over the world, but it's just been what I've always known, if that makes sense. There's it's easier to be recognised now because we've got social media, but then I don't really do that much social media in the sense of comedy, if that makes sense, because you can be funny on screen for the 30 seconds, but can you be funny live? So there's that comparison where some people are so tuned into you on the screen when they see you live, it's harder for them to engage with you and tune in because they're not used to it because they're only used to 30 seconds, 45 seconds of short spurts. So what they find funny in the 45 seconds or the 1 minute, if you've got, you you paid extra for your account to be able to advertise longer, you know what I mean? You've got to, they most probably sat there, rehearsed it for however long, and then tried to make it look natural. So then when it comes to doing it on the stage, people are going, mm, yes, they will, they will definitely have a different view because it's a different time. So they're, and everything's more quick. Everything's quick, quick, quick. I'm from a school and an elk that is from a grassroots level of working and grafting. We didn't have social media. You know what I mean? It was literally, you know what I mean? You look forward to Saturday and going to your drama class. You know what I mean? Remember, it was then just a drama class. Now it's like so much more bigger than that because you've got your drama classes, then you've got your drama performing arts classes, which is all singing, all dancing, all everything. Then it's your performing arts classes that have stunt work, and so it's just grown and grown and grown. Um, and it's more accessible now than it was then. If you want to know about a drama class in Germany, or there's a likewise street dance crew in Germany that does this, or in Scandinavia, you can just go and find it straight away. Where before you had to travel for months and by word of mouth and hear things, and by the time it gets back to you, but now everything's so quick because it is so quick and people are so. Comedy is going to be completely different because you're coming from a completely different set, and what I might say to some people will only fit a certain demographic, and where some of the new comics that are coming up, their comedy would only hit a certain demographic because it's what you're tuned into. I want to be like somebody. I just always wanted to just do me. Um, like Norman Wisdom, um, Will Hay, um, Bob Monkhouse. I liked their style of delivering comedy. Um, Bruce Forsyth. I liked that style of delivering things because it was very boom, and or it be subtle stuff that you go, oh, I mean, I never really watched comedy per se growing up because I never said I want to be a comedian. I just wanted to be a good performer. So I like to dance. I like to sing. I like to do stuff. So when I do my comedy now, I can fall back on everything that I've learned over the years. So I never really looked at anybody. I had good mentors that helped me, like Eddie Nestor, Robbie G, um, Felix Dexter, Angela Marr, Slim, Richard Blackwood, all these different Quincy, um, Kevin J. I've got all the time. I'm always learning. I've got all these different comics that are always throwing their energy into me and nurturing and going, you could do this, you can do that. But also, I've got great actors like Damon Hart, Ricky Norwood, Rudolph Walker, Donna Carroll. Oh gosh, who else is there? It's like so many different actors that have poured themselves as well naturally into going. Have you thought about doing it this way? Have you thought about that? And you go, wow, yeah, he's a troublemaker. He's a troublemaker. He's a he's an activist for comedians. He's a problem. He's a problem. He's not righted, and I love him for that. He's he's the comedian's comedian. Whenever I see Quincy, as much as I know, sometimes he's like, he still goes like that. You know what I mean? And that's what you want. You don't want, dead energy comedians. Doing stupidness. You want people like Quincy that are, comedy is not just in a box. He's now going right. How can I make it do this? How can I take comedy into this realm? He's always trying to, and that's what the arts do. The arts isn't supposed to stay in boxes. The arts are supposed to intermingle, change, mold, take a new form, and do stuff. He actually loves the actual art form of it all, which is a blessing. But don't tell him I said that. Each place is going to be different. Stratford has got a lot of history. Um, Hackney's got a lot of history. West London's got a lot of history, like Hammersmith. So there's so many places that I performed at. All of them have history, and I grew up in Stratford to a certain point. So being in Newham, I've watched it change. Over the years, the people, the housing. The roads. You go away on a tour, come back, and you find that you can't go down that road anymore because it's a one way, and you're like, Mum, I'm home. I think, but it says I can't drive down this. Yeah, no, you have to go round there and up here, and then come back on yourself. And okay, I'll see you in 20 minutes. Then it's like, and that's Stratford is always developing and changing, and I think that's how things are always going to be. Things are always going to keep changing, and with that, the arts has to change as well. Comedy world has to change because we have to keep up with the ever changing things of what's happening in Stratford and Newham and keep it relative to people from Newham so they can go, oh, you're talking about us. Oh, and it's nice to go back to, to Stratford and perform in the town hall or even in the theatre or even circus or even the cinema when they put on stuff and they say, oh, you've got ties to Newham, and you go, mm-hmm. Would you like to come back and perform here for a festival for this? And you're like, I made it. It's always good to go back there and say, "Here, I'm giving back and to the community and showing somebody else that you can do that as well." Because I was once that child looking, going, and saying, "I could do this. I know I could do this," and now I've done it. I want another person and another person and another person to see and say, I can do this too. It's not impossible.